Me?
Yeah, playing shortstop. Hey, ball.
With more selection and savings, you get more brushes with glory at Meijer.
The crucial question is going to be, who was the person who was responsible for Stephen Day's death?
Now on Fox 17 News at 5, a man's body was found along a road in northern Kent County more than 2 years ago, and now the accused killer is facing a judge. We'll take you inside the courtroom for opening statements.
I feel like we're just wasting taxpayer money with this criminal prosecution.
The attorney for expelled lawmaker Cindy Gamrat speaking today in our state's capital about the charges she and former lawmaker Todd Courser face. And Courser says his time in government isn't over. What he's running for now.
From the station with the most local news, Fox 17 News at 5 starts right now.
And thanks for joining us tonight. Got a taste of warm weather yesterday, but it was cloudy. A couple of sprinkles out there even today.
Kevin's here now with the forecast. It was nice and cool if you're out there kind of enjoying it, running or doing something like that.
Yes, but it's a stark contrast from what we've had over the last few days. Thanks, guys. Hey, we got a neat time lapse we want to show you here. Joe Kopacek was kind of filtering through this, and he said, hey, Kevin, take a look at this. This is a Holland, Spyglass condos. That's a fixed camera that's looking out there. That little ship that you see there, that boat, I think is a dredging machine, and it's actually going into this area, and it's dredging out. This is a time lapse overall of today. People walking out on the pier, taking a look at it, and then it pulls out towards the end here. But kind of a neat thing to see. We don't see that out there too often. Hopefully they got done what they needed to do. The other really drastic change that we can clearly see on this map is the 24-hour temperature change. This shows you negative numbers because, for example, in Grand Rapids, we are 26 degrees colder than we were yesterday at the same time. That's the most drastic one for the most part. In our area, only 11 degrees cooler in Benton Harbor. We've had some sunshine down across our southern counties, but boy, what a difference a day makes here. I've got a couple of sprinkles showing up on live Doppler radar as well. There might be enough here to just wet the pavement down, but not a whole lot going on. So if you've got some activities plans with the kids or running some errands, you might run into a couple of sprinkles, maybe enough to wet the pavement down. This heavier precipitation and the bigger bulk of it will stay off to our west over there in Wisconsin. Temperatures 55 right now in Grand Rapids, 65 in Benton Harbor, 61 up there in Big Rapids. Here's how the planner shakes out then. 53 at 7 p.m., variably cloudy skies, maybe a sprinkle, down to 50 at 9 p.m. and in the upper 40s with variably cloudy skies at 11 o'clock. We should drop down into about the mid-40s by tomorrow morning. Then we'll throw some rain chances into the mix by Wednesday night and through the day on Thursday. We'll take a look at all that, track it all out, and look at the overall cooler forecast coming up. Christian Michelle in just a few minutes.
Trial is now underway for Roger Music in a murder case out of Kent County.
He's accused of killing a man named Stephen Day nearly 3 years ago and dumping the body along a road with the help of another man. Fox 17's Darren Cunningham was in court today. He's live with more.
Yeah, several people testified today, but the most interesting testimony came from Robert McCombs. He actually admits to helping Roger Music dump Stephen Day's body the night that he died. McCombs also says that they used his own van to transport that body to northern Kent County. Now, McCombs told me he spent 14 months behind bars for his actions in helping with the cover-up, pleading guilty to tampering with evidence. The night of the murder in December 2013, McCombs says he, Music, and Day were in his apartment drinking and talking. He says Day mentioned Alcoholics Anonymous and how Step 8 requires you to make amends with people who you have harmed. He says Day then admitted to molesting his own niece. McCombs says Music mouthed that he wanted to kill Day for that confession. McCombs claims to have blacked out and woke up to find Day lifeless in a chokehold.
Can you demonstrate for the jury how the defendant had his arms around Stephen Day's neck?
So, just a typical choke, arm around Grace.
Did you send that text?
Yes.
Specifically, you said what you thought it said, or you said it wasn't verbatim. I want the jury to hear verbatim what you texted.
You okay? The world is a better place today, and one little girl can sleep tonight because her monster is gone.
Now, the defense believes that McCombs actually played a much larger role in the actual murder, and they believe that his version of events is a total lie, and He was cross-examined by the defense attorney this afternoon. The attorney was trying to poke holes in his story. Meantime, it's not clear if Music will testify, but the prosecution told me they don't anticipate it. Live in Kent County, Darren Cunningham, Fox 17 News.
Thanks for that, Darren. West Michigan's Most Wanted has helped capture more than 100 fugitives. It airs every Saturday on Fox 17 News at 10. Family, friends, and fans in shock over the death of a local reporter and radio show host in St. Joe.
Denise Bones Stewart was found dead this morning in her home along with her husband Eric. Police calling this one a murder-suicide. The couple's young children found their parents and immediately called 911. Fox 17's Lauren Edwards has more.
Friends and family are still absorbing the news that Denise Bones Stewart is gone. They say she was more than just a radio host. She was a great person, friend, and neighbor. Loved ones spent most of the day standing near the Stewart residence, hugging and crying together. Denise Bones Stewart was the voice of 98.3 The Coast out of Benton Harbor and spent years as a journalist at St. Joseph's WSJM and at WSBT in South Bend. Michigan State Police say Stewart was shot and killed by her husband, Eric. The investigation is ongoing, but police believe he shot her in the upstairs bedroom and then killed himself in the basement, which is where they found the handgun. After conducting a few interviews, police say that marital issues may have been a factor in the murder-suicide. Lieutenant Chuck Christensen says he's covered many murders in his career, but this is a little harder than usual.
I did know the female victim personally or professionally through work, and it's a tragic loss with what happened here today. It hits closer to home, so to speak, because you actually know the person, and you know, as human beings, nobody wants to see anybody deceased, particularly when it's somebody you know. It makes it a little more difficult.
Police say the autopsies are scheduled for Wednesday morning, and even though the investigation is in its early stages, they believe the murder-suicide was planned. In St. Joseph, Lauren Edwards, Fox 17 News.
One person was arrested after police say he damaged a vehicle during an argument where shots were fired near school property last night. Police say they were called to Godfrey Lee Athletic Field about 10:30. During the argument, several shots were heard when a dark-colored car drove through that area. Nobody was hurt, though. If you know anything about this case, call police or Silent Observer.
The Uber driver in Kalamazoo, who police say admitted to shooting 8 people, killing 6, will be back in court this week to determine if he's competent to stand trial. Jason Dalton faces 16 criminal charges in connection to that shooting rampage the night of February 20th. Investigators say Dalton was working as an Uber driver, taking fares in between the shootings. He told investigators that the Uber app on his phone was actually controlling his mind. He'll be in court on Friday.
Meanwhile, one of the 2 surviving victims of that shooting gets to go home this week. First, though, she got a special visit. Miss Greater Kalamazoo, Jody Beckman, stopped by 14-year-old Abby Koff's room at Mary Free Bed. Beckman brought along a stuffed bear and a tiara, offering support since she survived a brain injury herself. The other survivor, Tiana Carruthers, is already discharged from the hospital, recovering now at home. For more on their stories, just go to our website, fox17online.com.
3 teenagers could end up facing serious charges for allegedly breaking into and vandalizing 2 Ottawa County churches over the weekend.
Those break-ins happened early Sunday morning at Georgetown Protestant Reformed Church and Jamestown Christian Reformed Church. Sheriff's Office says the teens pried open the front doors to get inside before allegedly throwing books and Bibles around, spraying fire extinguishers, and doing other damage. The teens, ages 16, 15, and 13, are in custody of their parents. They are said to be cooperating with the investigation. The Sheriff's Department says they will turn the case over to the prosecutor's office for possible charges.
Got an update now on that crash we told you about yesterday on M40 in Holland. An elderly passenger in one of the cars has now died. A 78-year-old woman was turning left onto M40 from the I-196 ramp when they were hit. Passenger, 87-year-old Lorraine Bossinga, was taken to the hospital where she later died. The 2 drivers were injured but are expected to recover. A man is dead after being hit by a vehicle last night. This one happened around 10:30 on M99 in Eaton Rapids Township, south of Lansing. Eaton County deputies tell us that the 62-year-old was walking in the road when that happened. He died at the scene. His name hasn't been released yet.
In Spring Lake, a teenager told officials her foot missed the brake after hitting a motorcycle. This happened about 3 on northbound US 31 at Ridge Street. Officials say the driver, 18-year-old Logan Montgomery, was cited for that accident. The motorcycle rider, Kurt Malocki, was taken to the hospital but is expected to be okay. And we are just getting started tonight on Fox 17 News at 5.
Still to come, an elderly couple tells us they're out of money after a roof contractor didn't do the work they hired him for.
It wasn't done, no. It had never been done. It continued to leak.
what our problem solvers are finding out tonight.
Here's a live shot from Holland in Energy Park. We're looking at an overall cooler pattern and will increase our rain chances by tomorrow night. Tracking everything hour by hour and day by day. Up next.
You're watching Fox 17 News.
Join the March of Dimes for March for Babies. The events happen across West Michigan this April and May. Log on to fox17online.com for more information.
Do you talk Tuesday?
Fox Tuesday.
Talk about, oh, hell yeah.
Talking about.
Yes! Sorry.
Fox Tuesday. Talk about New Girl, Brooklyn Grinder. Everybody talk about Fox Tuesday. Talk about Fox Tonight, Tuesday. Fox gives you something to talk about.
That's what I'm hearing from your mouth hole.
Like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter and stay connected with Fox 17.
The potential benefits of a career-related technical education at ITT Tech are known to many. What may not be known is the fact that we are committed to making this education more affordable. And now, a quality, career